Here, master! What cheer?
Good. Speak to the mariners. Fall to a yelling or we run ourselves aground. Be stir, be stir!
Hide my hearts! Cheerily, cheerily, my hearts! Yar, yar! Take in the topsail! Tend to the master's whistle! Blow till thou burst thy wind, if room enough!
Good boatswain, have cheer! Where's the master? Play them in!
I pray now, keep below.
Where's the master, bosun?
Do you not hear him? You mar our labor. Keep your cabin. You do assist the storm.
Nay, God, be patient!
When the sea is heads, what cares these roars for the name of king? To cabin, silence, trouble us not.
Oh, did remember whom thou hast aboard?
None that I more love than myself. Out of our way, I say.
I have great comfort from this fellow. Methinks he hath no traveling mark upon him. His complexion is perfect gallows. Stand fast, good faith to his hanging.
Down with the topmast, yar! Lower, lower! Bring her to try with main course.
I shall be sad.
Yet again, what do you here? Shall we give o'er and drown? Have you a mind to sink?
Oh, a pox out your throat, you falling, blasphemous, charitable dog!
Work you then.
Fie! Hang cur! Hang you whoreson! Insolent noise-maker! We all are afraid to be drowned now, what?
Lay her a hold to hold. Set her 2 courses off to sea again. Lay her off. What must our mouths be told?
The king and prince of prayers! Let the system! Our cases are there!
I'm out of patience!
We are merely cheated of our lives by drunkards! This wine-chopped rascal! Would thou fight like drowning the washing of 10 times? He'll be hanged yet! However drop of water swear against it and gape and wise to blood him! We split! Let's all sing for the king! Now will I give 1,000 crowns of sea! For 1 acre of barren ground! The will to what be done! But I would say God is crying death!
If by your art, my dearest father, you have put the wild waters in this roar, allay them. The sky, it seems, would pour down stinking pitch, but that, the sea mounting to the welkin's cheek, dashes the fire out. Oh, I have suffered with those that I saw suffer. A brave vessel dashed all to pieces. Oh, the cry did knock against my very heart.
Be collected. No more amazement. Tell your piteous heart there's no harm done.
Oh, woe the day.
No harm. I have done nothing but in care of thee, my dear one, of thee, my daughter, who art ignorant of what thou art, not knowing of whence I am, nor that I am more better than Prospero, master of a full porcel, than thy no greater father.
More to know, never did meddle with my thoughts.
'Tis time I should inform thee, father. Lend thy hand and pluck my magic garment from me. So, lie there, my art. Have comfort. The direful spectacle of the rack, which touched the very virtue of compassion in thee, I have with such provision in mine art, so safely ordered that there's no soul, not so much perdition as an hair, betid to any creature in the vessel, which thou heardst cry, which thou sawest sing. Sit down, for thou must now know further.
You have often begun to tell me what I am, but stopped and left me to bootless inquisition, concluding, stay, not yet.
Now the hour is now come. The very minute bids thee, ope thine ear. Obey, and be attentive. Canst thou remember a time before we came unto this cell? I do not think thou canst, for then thou was not out 3 years old.
Certainly, sir, I can.
By what? By any other house or person? Of anything, the image, tell me, that has kept within thy remembrance.
'Tis far off, and rather like a dream than an assurance that my remembrance warrants. Had I not 4 or 5 women once that tended me?
Thou hadst, and more, Miranda. But how is it that this lives in thy mind? What seest thou else in the dark, backward, and abysm of time? If thou rememberest aught ere thou camest here, how thou camest here thou mayest.
But that I do not.
12 years since, Miranda. 12 years since thy father was the Duke of Milan and a prince of power.
Sir, are you not my father?
Thy mother was a piece of virtue, and she says thou wast my daughter. And thy father was Duke of Milan, and his only heir and princess, no worse issue.
Oh, the heavens! What foul play had we that we came from thence? Or blessed wast we did.
Both, my girl, by foul play, as thou sayest, were we heaved hence, but blessedly hope thither.
My heart bleeds to think of the teen that I have turned you to, which is from my remembrance, but please you farther.
My sister, and thy aunt, called Antonia, I pray thee mark me that a sister should be so perfidious. She whom next thyself of all the world I love, to her put the manage of my state, as at that time the liberal arts, those being all my studies, the government I cast upon her, and to my state grew stranger, being transported and wrapped in secret studies. Thy false aunt, dost thou attend me?
Oh, well, sir, most heedfully.
Being once subjected, having both the officer and office, did turn all the hearts in the state to what tune pleased her ear. And my false sister awakened an evil nature. She did believe she was indeed the Duke. Now the condition. This King of Naples, being an enemy to me, inveterate, hearkens my sister's suit to presently extirpate me and mine out of the dukedom and confer fair Milan with all the honors on my sister. Whereupon a treacherous army levied, one midnight, fated to the purpose, Antonia opened the gates of Milan, and in the dead of darkness, the ministers to the purpose hurried thence me and thy crying self.
Wherefore did they not that hour destroy us?
Well demanded, wench, my tale provokes that question. Dear, they durst not. So dear the love my people bore thee, nor set a mark so bloody on the business, but with colors fair painted their foul ends. In few, they hurried us aboard a bark, bore us some leagues to sea, where they prepared a rotten carcass of a buck, not rigged, nor tackled, sail, nor mast, the very rats instinctively had quit it. And there they hoist us, to cry to the sea that roared to us, to sigh to the winds whose pity sighing back again, did us but loving wrong.
What trouble was I then to you?
Oh, a cherubim thou was, that did preserve me. Thou didst smile, infused with a fortitude from heaven against what should ensue.
How came we ashore?
By providence divine. Some food we had and fresh water that a noble Neapolitan Gonzala out of her charity did give us, with rich garments, linen, stuffs necessary. Knowing I loved my books, she furnished me from mine own library with volumes I prize above my dukedom.
Oh, would I but ever see that woman! And now, I pray you, sir, for still 'tis beating in my mind, your reason for raising this sea storm.
Novus, farfore. By accident, most strange, bountiful fortune, now my dear lady hath mine enemies brought to this shore. And by my prescience I find that my zenith doth depend upon a most auspicious star, whose influence, if now I court not, but omit, my fortunes will ever after droop. Here, cease more questions. Thou art inclined to sleep. 'Tis a good dullness, and give it way. I know thou canst not choose. Come, servant. Come away. Approach my Ariel. I am ready now. Come.
All hail, great master. Grave sir, hail. I come to answer thy best pleasure. Be it to fly, to swim, to dive into the fire, to ride on the curled clouds, to thy strong bidding, task Ariel and all her quality.
Hast thou, spirit, performed to point the tempest that I bade thee?
To every article, I boarded the king's ship. Now on the beak, now on the waist, the deck, in every cabin I flamed amazement. Sometime I divide and burn in many places. The fire and cracks of sulphurous roaring, the most mighty Neptune seemed to besiege and make his bold waves tremble, yea, his dread trident shake.
Oh, that's my brave spirit. Who was so firm, so constant, that this coil would not infect their reason?
Not a soul but felt a fever of the mad and played some tricks of desperation. All but mariners plunged into the foaming brine and quit the vessel. Then, all afire with me, the king's son Ferdinand, with hair upstaring, then like reeds, not hair, was the first man that leapt, cried, "Hell is empty! And all the devils are here."
That's my spirit. But are they, Ariel, safe?
Not a hair perished. In troops I have dispersed them about the isle. The king's son have I landed by himself, whom I left cooling of the air, in an odd angle of the isle, and sitting, his arms in this sad knot.
Of the king's ship, the mariners, say how thou hast disposed, and all the rest of the fleet.
Safely in the harbor, the mariners all under hatches stowed. I have left asleep. As for the rest of the fleet, which I dispersed, they've met again, and are upon the Mediterranean float, bound sadly home for Naples, supposing they saw the king's ship wrecked and his great person perish.
Ariel, thy charge exactly is performed, but there's more work.
Is there more toil? Since thou dost give me pains, let me remember thee what thou hast promised, which is not yet performed me.
How now? Moody! What is it thou canst demand?
My liberty.
Before the time be out, no more.
Prithee, I have done thee worthy service, told thee no lies, made thee no mistakings, served without or grudge or grumblings. Thou did promise to bait me a full year.
Dost thou forget from what torment I did free thee?
I do not, sir.
Thou liest, malignant thing. Thou forgot the foul witch, Sycorax?
No, sir.
Thou hast. Where was she born? Tell me. Speak!
Sir, in arduo.
Oh, was she so? I must once in a month recount what thou hast been, which thou forgetst. This damned witch Sycorax, for mischief manifold and sorceries terrible to inner human hearing, from Aegea thou knowest was banished. The one thing she did, they would not take her life. Is not this true?
Aye, sir.
This blue-eyed hag was hither brought with child, as thou reportest thyself was then her servant. And for thou wast a spirit too delicate to act her earthy and abhorred commands, refusing her grand hests, she did confine thee into a cloven pine, within which whipped, imprisoned, thou did painfully remain 12 years, within which space she died, and left thee there. Oh, it was a torment to lay upon the damned, which Sycorax could not again undo. It was mine art, when I arrived and heard thee, that made gape the pine and let thee out.
I thank thee, master. I will be correspondent to command and do my spiriting gently.
Do so, and after 2 days I will discharge thee.
That's my noble master. What shall I do? Say what shall I do?
Go make thyself like a nymph of the sea. Be subject to no sight but thine and mine, invisible to every eyeball else. Go take this shape, and hither come in it. Go, hence with diligence. Oh, awake, dear heart, awake. Thou hast slept well. Awake.
The strangeness of your story put heaviness in me.
Come on, shake it off. We'll visit Caliban, my slave, who never yields us kind answer.
'Tis a villain, sir, I do not love to look on.
But as 'tis, we cannot miss him. He does make our fire, fetch in our wood, and serves in offices that profit us. What ho! Slave! Caliban! Thou earth, thou speak within!
There's wood enough within.
Come forth, I say. There's other business for thee. Come, thou tortoise friend. Thou poisonous slave, bet by the devil himself upon thy wicked dam. Come forth.
As wicked do as ere my mother brushed with raven's feather from unwholesome fen, drop on you both. The southwest blow on ye and blister you all o'er.
For this, tonight be sure, thou shalt have cramps, side stitches that shall pen thy breath up. Urchins shall for that vast of night that they may work whole exercise on thee. Thou shalt be pinched as thick as honeycomb, each pinch more stinging than bees at Madam.
I must eat my dinner. Oh, no! This island's mine! My Sycorax, my mother, which thou takest from me. When thou camest first, thou strokest me and made much of me. Wouldst give me water with berries in it, and teach me how to name the bigger light. Then I loved thee, and showed thee all the qualities of the isle, the fresh springs, brine pits, barren place, and fertile. Cursed be I that did so! All the charms of Sycorax, toads, beetles, bats, light on you! For I am all the subjects that you have, which was mine own king! Oh, and here you stymie in this hard rock, whilst you do keep from me the rest of the island.
Thou most lying slave, whom stripes may move, not kindness. I have used thee, filth as thou art, with human care, and lodged thee in my own cell, till thou didst seek to violate the honor of my child.
been done. Thou didst prevent me. I had peopled else this isle with Calibans.
I pity thee! Took pains to make thee speak. Taught thee each hour one thing or other when thou didst not know, savage, thine own meaning. But wouldst gabble like a thing most brutish, I endowed thy purposes with words that made them known. But thy vile soul, though thou didst learn, had that in it which good natures cannot abide to be with. Therefore was thou deservedly confined to this rock. Who hadst deserved more than a prison?
You taught me language, and my profit on it is I know how to curse. The red plague rid you for learning me your language.
Herdseed heads! Better send fuel and be quick. Thou art best to answer other business. Shruggest thou malice? If thou neglectst, or dost unwillingly what I command, I'll rack thee with all cramps, fill all thy bones with aches, and make thee roar, so that beasts will tremble at thy den.
No! Pray thee!
So, slave, hence!
Where should this music be? In the air or the earth? It sounds no more. And sure waits upon some god on the island. Sitting on the bank, weeping again the king my father wrecked. This music crept by me upon the waters, allaying both their fury and my passion with its sweet air. Thence I have followed it. Or have drawn me, rather. But 'tis gone. No, it begins again. This is no mortal business, nor no sound that the earth owes. I hear it now, above me.
The frigid curtains of thine eyes advance, and say what thou seest dawn.
What? It's the spirit? Lord, how it looks about.
Oh, believe me, sir, it carries a brave form, but 'tis a spirit.
No, wench. It eats and sleeps, and has such senses as we have such. This gallant which thou seest was in the rack, but he's something stained with grief. That's beauty's canker. Thou mightst call him a goodly person. He's lost his fellows and strays about to find them.
I might call him a thing divine, for nothing natural I ever saw so noble.
I'm sure the goddess on whom these airs attend. Vouchsafe my prayer. May know if you remain upon this island. All my prime request is, oh, you find wonder, if you be made or no.
No wonder, sir, but certainly a maid.
My language, heavens, I'm the best of them to speak this speech where I've a word to spoken.
Oh, the best. What wert thou if the king of Naples heard thee?
A single thing as I am now, the wonders to hear thee speak of Naples. He does hear me, and that he does I weep. Myself am Naples, who with mine eyes never since it ebbed beheld the king my father wrecked.
Alack for mercy.
Yes, faith in all his lords, the Duke of Milan and his brave son being twain.
A word, good sir. I fear you have done yourself some wrong. A word. They are both in either's powers. But this swift business I must uneasy make, lest too light winning make the prize light. A word. I charge thee on this island as a spy, to win it from me, the Lord on it.
No, as I am a man.
There's nothing ill can dwell in such a temple.
Follow me. Speak not you for him, he's a traitor. Come, I'll manacle thy neck and feet together. Sea water shalt thou drink, thy food shall be the fresh brook mussels, withered roots, and husks wherein the acorn cradle. Follow.
No, I will resist such entertainment till my enemy has more power.
Dear father, make not too rash a trial of him, for he's gentle and not fearful.
I say, my foot, my tutor. Put thy sword up, who makes a show but dares not strike. Thy conscience is so possessed with guilt. Come from thy ward, for I can here disarm thee with this stick and make thy weapon drop.
Beseech you, Father.
Hang not on my garments.
Oh, sir, have pity.
Silence!
Authority!
One word more shall make me chide thee, if not hate thee. Hush! What, an advocate for an impostor? Thou thinkst there are no more such shapes as he? Foolish wench! To the most of men, this is a Caliban, and they to him are angels.
My affections, then, are most humble. I have no ambition to see a goodlier man.
Come on, obey. Thy nerves are in their infancy again and have no vigor in them.
So they are. My spirits, as in a dream, are all bound up. My father's loss, the weakness which I feel, nor this man's threats to whom I am subdued, are but light to me. Might I but through my prison once a day behold this maid, all cornicellis on the earth, let liberty make use of. Space enough have I in such a prison.
It works. Come on. Thou hast done well, fine Ariel. Follow me. Hark what thou shalt else do me.
Be of comfort, sir. My father's of a better nature than he appears by speech. This is unwanted, which now came from him.
Thou shalt be free as mountain air, but do exactly all points of my command.
To the syllable.
Come. Follow.
And before
Speak not for him.
Beseech you, sir, be merry. You have cause, so we all of joy. For our escape is much greater than our loss. For the miracle, I mean our preservation, few in millions can speak like us. And wisely, good sir, weigh our sorrow with our comfort.
Prithee, peace. He receives comfort like cold porridge.
The visitor will not give him or so.
Oh, look, she's winding up the watch of her wit. By and by will strike.
Sir,
One, tell.
when every grief is offered that entertained comes to the entertainer,
$1.
dolor comes to him indeed, and you have spoken truer than you purposed.
You have taken it wiselier than I meant you should.
Therefore, my lord, fie, what a spendthrift is she of her tongue.
I prithee, spare.
I have done. But yet,
She will be talking.
which of she or Adriana, for a good wager, first begins to cluck?
Oh, the old hen.
Oh, the young chick.
Done, the wager.
A laughter?
A man.
Oh, this island seems to be desert.
So you are paid.
Uninhabitable and almost inaccessible.
Yet.
Yet
She could not miss.
it must needs be of subtle, tender, and delicate temperance.
Oh, temperance was a delicate wench.
Aye, and a subtle, as she most learnedly delivers.
The air breathes so sweetly upon us here, as if it had lungs.
And rotten ones.
Or as 'twere perfumed by a fen. Here is everything advantageous to life true, save means to live.
Of that there's none, or little.
How lush and lusty the grass looks. How green. The earth indeed is tawny.
With an eye green in it.
She misses not much.
No, she doth but mistake the truth totally.
But the rarity of it is, which is almost beyond credit,
As many avouched rarities are.
that our garments, being as they were drenched in the sea, hold notwithstanding all their freshness and glosses, being rather new dyed. then stained with salt water. If but one of her pockets could speak, would it not say she lies?
Aye, or very falsely pocket up her report.
I think our garments are as fresh as when we first put them on in Africa, at the marriage of the king's fair daughter Clarabelle to the king of Tunis.
'Twas a sweet marriage, and we prosper well in our return.
What impossible matter will she make easy next?
I think she will carry home this island in her pocket and give it her son for an apple.
And sowing the kernels of it in the sea, bring forth more islands.
Aye.
Why, in good time.
Sir, we were talking that our garments seem now as fresh as when we were at Tunis, at the marriage of your daughter, who is now queen.
And the rarest that e'er came there.
Sir, is not my garment as fresh as when I first put it on? I mean in a sort.
That sort was well fished for.
At the marriage of your daughter.
You cram these words into mine ears against the stomach of my thoughts. But I have never married her there for coming hence. My son is gone, and at my rate, she too, who is so far from Italy removed, I shall never see her. Oh, thou mine heir of Naples and Milan, what strange fish has made its meal upon thee?
Sir, he may live. I saw him beat the surges under him and ride upon their backs. He trod the water, whose enmity he flung aside, and breasted himself with his good arms in lusty stroke to the shore, that o'er his wave-worn bases bowed, as stooping to relieve him. I not doubt he came alive to land.
No, he's gone.
Sir, you have yourself to thank for this great loss. That would not bless our Europe with your daughter, but rather lose her to an African, or at least she's banished from your eye, who hath cause to wet the grief on it.
Prithee, peace.
You were kneeled to, importuned otherwise by all of us, and the fair soul herself weighed between loathness and obedience, at which end of the beam should bow. We have lost your son, I fear, forever. Milan and Naples have more widows in the business making than we bring men to comfort them. The fault is your own.
So is the dearest of the lost.
My lord Sebastian, the truth you speak doth lack some gentleness and the time to speak it in. You rub the sore when you should bring the plaster.
Very well.
And most courageously.
Oh, it is foul weather in us all, good sir, when you are cloudy.
Foul weather.
Very foul.
Had I a plantation of this isle, my lord,
Should sow it with nettle seed.
Or docks or mallow.
and with a queen on it, what would I do?
Escape being drunk for want of wine.
In the Commonwealth, I would, by contraries, execute all things, for no traffic would I admit. No name of magistrate, no occupation, all men idle, all. And women too, but innocent and pure. No sovereignty.
But she'd be queen on it.
The latter end of her commonwealth forgets the beginning.
All things in common nature should produce without sweat or endeavor. Treason, felony, sword, pike, knife, gun, nor need of any engine would I not have. But nature should bring forth of its own kind all foison, all abundance, to feed my innocent people.
No marrying among her subjects?
None, men, all idle, whores and knaves.
I would, with such perfection govern, sir, as to excel the golden age.
Save her majesty.
Long live Gonzalo.
And do you mark me, sir?
I prithee no more. Thou dost talk nothing to me.
I do well believe, your highness, I did it to minister occasion to these nobles who are of such sensible and nimble until they always laugh at nothing.
No, it was you we laughed at.
Who, in this merry kind of fooling, am nothing to you, so you may continue and laugh at nothing still.
Oh, what a blow was there given!
You are noble, a brave fellow. You would lift the moon out of her sphere if it would continue 5 weeks without changing.
We would so, and then go a bat fowling.
Oh, shoot!
Nay, good my lady, be not angry.
No, I would not warrant that. I would not have ventured my discretion so weakly. Now laugh me asleep, for I am very heavy.
Go sleep and hear us.
What? All so soon asleep? Oh, I wish mine eyes would, with themselves, shut up my thoughts. I feel they're inclined to do so.
Oh, please you, sir, do not omit the heavy offer of it. It seldom visits sorrow, and when it doth, it's a comforter.
We too shall watch your person, my lord, while you take your rest and guard your safety.
Thank you. Wondrous. Heavy.
What strange drowsiness possesses them?
Oh, it is a quality of the climate.
Why doth not then our eyelids sink? I feel not myself disposed to sleep.
Nor I, my spirits are nimble. They fell together all as by consent. They dropped as by a thunderstroke. What might? Oh, worthy Sebastian, what might? No more. And yet, methinks I see it in thy face, what thou shouldst be. The occasion speaks thee, and my strong imagination sees a crown dropping upon thy head.
What, art thou waking?
Do you not hear me speak?
I do, it is a sleepy language, and thou speakest out of thy sleep. What is it thou didst say? Strange repose to be sleep, eyes wide open, standing, speaking, moving, so fast asleep.
Noble Sebastian, thou lett'st thy fortune sleep. Die, rather, winkst, whilst thou art waking.
Thy snore distinctly. There's meaning in thy snore.
I am more serious than is my custom. You must be too, if heed me, and to do so troubles the oar.
I am standing water.
I'll teach you how to flow.
Oh, do so. To ebb. Hereditary sloth instructs me.
Oh, if you but knew how you the purpose cherish, while thus you mock it, how in striking it you more invest it. Ebbing men indeed, so near the bottom flow by their own fear or sloth.
Prithee, say on. The setting of thine iron cheek do proclaim a matter from thee, and a birth indeed throws thee much to yield.
Thus, sir, although this lord of weak remembrance, he who will be of as little memory when he is earth, hath here almost persuaded, for he is a spirit of persuasion, only professes to persuade the king his sons alive. 'Tis as impossible that he's undrowned as he that sleeps here swims.
Yeah, I have no hope that he's undrowned.
Oh. Out of that no hope, what great hope have you? Well then tell me, sir, who is the next heir of Naples?
Clarabelle.
Ah, she that is queen of Tunis. She that dwells 10 leagues beyond man's life. She that from Naples can have no note unless the sun were post. The man in the moon's too slow.
What stuff is this? 'Tis true my brother's daughter is queen of Tunis, so she heir of Naples, twixt which regions there is some space.
A space whose every cubit seems to cry out, how shalt that Clarabelle measure us back to Naples? Keep in Tunis and let Sebastian wake.
that this were death that now hath seized them. Why, they were no worse than now they are. Oh, be it that you bore the mind that I do. What a sleep were this for your advantage. Do you understand me?
Methinks I do.
And how does your content tender your own good fortune?
Well, I do recall you did supplant your brother Prospero.
True, and look how well my garments sit upon me. Much fitter than before. My brother's servants were then my fellows. Now they are my men.
But for your conscience.
I, sir, where lies that? 20 consciences that stand twixt me and Milan. Candid be they, and melt ere they molest. Here lies thy brother, whom I with this obedient steel, 3 inches of it, can lay to bed forever. Whilst you, doing thus to the perpetual wink, for I might put this ancient morsel, this Lady Prudence, who should not upbraid our course. As for the rest, they'll tell the clock to any business we say befits the hour.
Your case, my friend, shall be my precedence.
As thou godst Milan, I shall come by Naples.
One stroke shall free thee from the tribute thou payest. And I, the king, shall love thee.
And draw together, and let us both be sudden. Ah, now, good angels, preserve the king!
How now? Wait! Why are you drawn? Wherefore this ghastly looking?
Oh, what is happening?
Whilst we stood guarding your repose, we heard a hollow burst of bellowing like bulls.
Lions.
Or rather, lions. Oh, did it not wake you? It struck mine ear most terribly.
I heard nothing.
Oh, 'twas a din to fright a monster's ear, to make an earthquake. Why, sure it was the roar of a whole herd of lions.
Heard you this, Gonzalo?
Oh, upon mine honor, sir, I heard a humming, and that a strange one, too. As mine eyes opened, I saw their weapons drawn. There was a noise, that's verily. 'Tis best we stand upon our guard.
Let's make way from this ground and make further search for my son.
Oh, heavens preserve him from these beasts, for he is sure the island.
Lead away.
Okay.
Prospero, my lord, shall know what I have done. Okay, go safely on to seek thy son.
All the infections that the sun sucks up from bogs, fens, flats, on Prosper fall, and make him by inchmeal a disease. Oh, his spirits hear me, and yet I needs must curse. But they'll nor pinch, nor lead me like a firebrand in the dark out of my way, unless he bid them. Oh, but for every trifle are they set upon me. Sometimes, like apes that mow and chatter at me, and after bite me. Then, like hedgehogs, which lie tumbling in my barefoot way, and mount their pricks at my footfall. Sometime, my all wound with adders, with cloven tongues, do hiss me into madness. Lo, now lo, here comes a spirit of his, to torment me for bringing my wood in slowly. I'll fall flat. Perchance he will not mind me.
Bush and shrub to bear off any weather at all. And another storm brewing. I hear it sing in the wind. Yon same black cloud, yon huge one. Looks like a foul vomit that would shed his liquor. If it should thunder as it did before, I know not where to hide my head. What have we here? A man or a fish? Dead or alive? A fish! He smells like a fish. A very ancient and fish-like smell. Were I in Tryon now, as I once was, there would this monster make a man. Any strange beast there makes a man. And they will not give a doit to relieve a lame beggar. They'll lay out 10 to see a dead Indian. Legs like a man, and his fins like arms. Warm of my troth, this is no fish, but an islander that had lately suffered by a thunderbolt. Alas, the storm has come again. My best way is to creep under his gabardine. There is no other shelter hereabout. Misery acquaints a man with strange bedfellows. I will here shroud till the dredge of the storms be past.
Shall no more to sea, here shall I die ashore. This is a scurvy tune to sing at a man's funeral. Still, here's my comfort. Another. The master, the swabber, the boatswain, and I, the gunner and his mate, loved Mal, Meg, Marianne, and Marjorie, but none of us cared for Kate, for she had a tongue with a tang, would cry to a sailor, "Go hang!" She loved not the savor of tar nor of pitch, yet a tailor might scratch her where'er she did itch. And so to the sea boys and let her go hang. This too is a scurvy tune, but here's my comfort.
Oh, do not torment me. Oh.
What's the matter? Have we devils here? Ha! I have not escaped drowning to be afeard now of your foreleg.
The spirit torments me.
This is some monster of the owl with 4 legs who has got, as I take it, an ague. How the devil came he to know our language?
Don't torment me, pretty. I'll bring my wood home faster.
He's in his fit now and does not talk after the wisest. He shall taste of my bottle. If I can recover him and keep him tame, I'll not take too much for him. He shall pay for him that had him, and that soundly.
Thou dost me yet but little hurt. Thou wilt anon, I know it by thy trembling.
Come on your ways. Open your mouth. Here's that which will give language to you, cat. Open your mouth. This will shake your shakings, I can tell you, and that soundly. You know not who's your friend. Open your chaps again.
I should know that voice. It should be. But he is drowned. And these are devils. Oh, defend me.
4 legs and two voices. A most delicate monster. His forward voice now is to speak well of his friend. His backward voice is to utter foul speeches and to detract. If all the wine in my bottle can recover him, I will help his ague. Come. Amen. I will pour some in your other mouth.
Stefano?
Does my other mouth call me? Mercy, mercy, it is a devil and no monster. I will leave him. I have no long spoon.
Stefano, if thou beest Stefano, touch me and speak to me, for I am Trinculo. Be not afeard, thy good friend Trinculo.
If thou beest Trinculo, come forth. I will pull thee by the lesser legs. If any be Trinculos, these be they. Thou art very Trinculo indeed. How camest thou to be the siege of this mooncalf? Can he get Trinculos?
I took him to be killed by a thunderbolt. But art thou not drowned, Stefano? I hope now thou art not drowned. Is the storm overblown? I hid me under the dead mooncalf's gabardine for fear of the storm. Oh, Stefano, art thou living? Oh, Stefano, 2 Neapolitans escaped.
Prithee, turn me not about so. My stomach is not constant.
That's a brave god and bears celestial liquor. I will kneel to him.
How didst thou escape? How camest thou hither? Swear by this Bible how thou camest hither. I escaped on a butt sack which the sailors heaved o'erboard. By this bottle, which I made from the bark of a tree with my own hands as I was cast ashore.
I'll swear upon that bottle to be thy true subject, for the liquor is not earthly.
Here, swear how thou escaped.
I swum ashore, man, like a duck. I can swim like a duck. I'll be sworn.
Here, kiss the book. Though thou canst swim like a duck, thou art made like a goose.
Stefano, hast any more of this?
The whole fat man. My cellar is in a rock by the seaside where my wine is hid. How now, mooncalf? How does thine ague?
Hast thou not dropped from heaven?
Out of the moon, I do assure thee, I was the man in the moon when time was.
I have seen thee in her. Oh, I do adore thee.
Come, swear to that. Kiss the breast. I will furnish it anon with fresh contents. Swear.
By this light, a very shallow monster. I afeard of him? A very weak monster. The man in the moon. A most poor credulous monster. Well-drawn monster, in good sooth.
I will show thee every fertile inch of the island. Oh, and I will kiss thy foot. Well, I pray thee, be my god.
By this light, a most perfidious and drunken monster. When his god's asleep, he'll rob his bottle.
I will kiss thy foot. I will swear myself thy subject.
Come on then, down and swear.
I shall laugh myself to death at this puppy-headed monster. A most scurvy monster. I can find it in my heart to beat him.
Come, kiss.
But that the poor monster's in drink. An abominable monster.
I will show thee the best springs. I'll pluck berries for thee. I'll fish for thee and get thee wood enough. A plague upon the tyrant that I serve. I'll bear him no more sticks, but follow thee, thou wondrous man.
A most ridiculous monster to make a wonder of a poor drunkard.
I pray thee, let me bring thee where crabs grow, when I, with with my long nails will dig thee pig nuts, show thee a jay's nest, and instruct thee how to snare the nimble marmoset. Let me bring thee to clustering filberts, and sometime I'll get the young scammels from the rock. Wilt thou go with me?
Prithee, lead the way without any more talking. Trinculo, the king and all our company else being drowned, we will inherit here. Here, bear my bottle. Fellow Trinculo, we'll fill him again by and by.
Farewell, master! Farewell! Farewell!
A drunken monster. A howling monster.
All right, monster, lead the way!
Alas, now pray you work not so hard. I would the lightning had burnt up the logs you were enjoying to pile. Pray, sit down and rest you. When this burns, 'twill weep for having wearied you. My father is hard at study. Pray now rest you. He's safe these 3 hours.
Almost, dear mistress. The sun will set before I shall discharge what I must strive to do.
If you'll sit down, I'll bear your logs a while. Pray, give me that. I'll carry it to the pile.
No, precious creature.
It would become me as well as it does you, and I should do it with much more ease, for my goodwill is to it, and yours it is against.
Poor worm, thou art infected. This visitation shows it.
You look wearily.
No, noble mistress. This fresh morning with me when you are by at night. I do beseech you. What is your name?
Miranda. Oh, my father, I have broke your hest to say so.
Admired, Miranda. Indeed, the top of admiration. Worth what's dearest to the world. For several virtues have I liked several women. Never any was so full souled with some defect in her did quarrel with the noblest grace she owed, and put it to the foil. But you, oh you, so perfect and so peerless, a creator of every creature's best.
I would not wish any companion in the world but you, nor can imagination form a shape besides yourself to like of. Oh, but I do prattle on something too wildly, and my father's precepts I therein do forget.
I am in my condition of prince, Miranda. I do think a king. Hear my soul speak. The very instant that I saw you, did my heart fly to your service. There resides to make me slave to it.
Do you love me?
Oh, heaven! Oh, earth! Bear witness to the sound beyond all limit of what else in the world do love, prize, and honor you.
I'm a fool to weep at what I am glad of.
Fair encounter of two most rare affections, heavens rain grace on that which breeds between them.
Wherefore weep you?
At mine own unworthiness, that dare not offer what I desire to give, and much less take what I shall die to want. Oh, but this is trifling. I am your wife if you'll marry me. If not, I'll die your maid.
My mistress dearest, and I thus humble ever.
Oh, my husband then?
I, with a heart willing as bondage, ere freedom, here's my hand.
Oh, and mine, with my heart in it. Oh, and now farewell, till half an hour hence.
1,000.
So glad of this day I cannot be, who are surprised withal. But at my rejoicing nothing shall be more. I'll to my book, for ere yet supper time must I perform much business appertaining.
Tell not me. When the fun is out, we will drink water and not a drop before. Therefore, bear up and boredom. Servant monster, drink to me.
Servant monster, the folly of this island. They say there are but 5 upon this isle. We are 3 of them. The other 2 be brained like us. The state totters.
Drink, servant monster, when I bid thee. Thy eyes are almost set in thy head.
Where should they be set else? You were a brave monster indeed if they were set in his tail.
My man monster has drowned his tongue in sack. For my part, the sea cannot drown me. I swam ere I could recover the shore. 35 leagues off and on. By this light, thou shalt be my lieutenant, monster, or my standard.
You're a lieutenant if you list. He's no standard.
Mooncalf, speak once in thy life that thou beest a good mooncalf.
How does thy honor? Ooh, let me lick thy shoe. Ooh, I'll not serve him. He is not valiant. No!
Thou liest, most ignorant monster. I am in case the Jussel a constable. Why thou the bosh fish thou? Was there ever such a man, coward as I, that drinks so much sack as I today? Wilt thou tell a monstrous lie, being but half a fish and half a monster?
No! How he mocks me! Wilt thou let him, my lord?
Lord, quoth he. Oh, the monster should be such a natural.
No, again! Bite him to death, I prithee.
Niccolo, keep a good tongue in your head. If you prove a mutineer, the next tree. The poor monster is my subject, and he shall not suffer indignity.
I thank my noble lord. Wilt thou be pleased to hearken once again to the suit I made to thee?
Marry, will I? Kneel and repeat it. I will stand, and so shall Tricula.
As I told thee before, I am subject to a tyrant, a sorcerer, who by his cunning hath cheated me of this island.
Thou liest.
Thou liest, the jesting monkey thou! Ooh, I would my valiant master would destroy thee. I do not lie.
Tricolo, if you trouble him any more in his tail, by this hand I will supplant some of your teeth.
Why? I said nothing.
London and no more. Proceed.
I say by sorcery he got this island. From me he got it. With thy greatness will revenge it on him, for I know thou darest, but this thing dare not.
That's most certain.
Thou shalt be lord of it, and I will serve thee.
How then shall this be compassed? Can thou bring me to this party?
Yea, Lord, I will yield thee him asleep, where thou mayest knock a nail into his head.
Thou liest. Thou canst not.
Oh, what a pied ninny is this! Oh, the scurvy patch! Do beseech thy greatness, give him blows, and take his bottle from him. When that's gone, he shall drink naught but brine, for I'll not show him where the quick freshes are.
Tricolo, run into no further danger. Trouble the monster one word further, and by this hand I will turn my mercy out of doors and make a stockfish of thee.
Why? What did I? I did nothing.
Go further off.
Did thou not say he lied?
Thou liest.
Do I so? Take that! And that! And that! As thou like this, give me the lie another time.
I did not give a lie. Out of your wits and hearing too? A pox on your bottle.
This can too much sack and drinking do.
Rain on your monster and the devil take your fingers.
Now, forward with your tale. Prithee, stand further off.
Oh, beat him enough. After a little time, I'll beat him too.
Farther still. Pray, continue.
As I told thee, 'tis a custom with him in the afternoon to sleep. There mayest thou brain him, having first seized his books, or with a log batter his skull, or punch him with a stake, or cut his weasand with thy knife. Remember first to possess his books, for without them he's but a sot as I am, and hath not one spirit to command. They all do hate him as rootedly as I. Burn but his books. He has brave utensils, for so he calls them. And that most deeply to consider is the beauty of his daughter. He himself calls her a nonpareil. I never saw a woman but Sycorax my dam, and she as far surpasseth Sycorax, as greatest does least.
Is it so brave a lad?
Aye, Lord. She will become thy bed, I warrant, and bring thee forth brave brood.
Monster, I will kill this man. His daughter and I shall be king and queen. Save our graces. And Tryon and thyself shall be viceroys. Dost like the plot, Tryon?
Excellent.
Come, give me thy hand. I am sorry I beat thee. But while thou livest, keep a good tongue in your head.
Within this half hour will he be asleep. Wilt thou destroy him then?
I, on my honor. What does this say?
This is the tune of our catch, played by the picture of nobody.
If thou beest a man, show thyself in thy likeness. If thou beest a devil, take it as thou list.
Oh, forgive me my sins.
He that dies pays all debt. I do defy thee. Have mercy on us.
Art thou afeard?
No, monster. Not I.
Be not afeard. This isle is full of noises, sounds, and sweet airs that delight and hurt not. Oh, sometimes 1,000 twangling instruments will hum about mine ears. And sometimes voices that if I then had waked after long sleep will make me sleep again. And then, in dreaming, the clouds, methought, would open, oh, and show riches ready to drop upon me, that when I waked, I cried to dream again. Oh.
This will prove a brave kingdom to me, where I shall have my music for nothing.
Prospero is destroyed.
Aye, that shall be by and by. I'll remember the story.
The tune is going away. Let's follow it and then after do our work.
Lead, monster. We will follow. I would that I could see this taper. He lays it on.
Well, come, I'll follow Stefano.
Fire lake, and I can go no further, sir. My old bones ache.
Old friend, I cannot blame thee, for I am myself attached to a weariness of the spirits. He is drowned who we stray to find, and the sea mocks our frustrate search on land. Oh, let him go.
I am right glad that he's so out of hope. Do not, for one repulse, forego the purpose that you resolve to effect.
The next advantage will we take thoroughly.
And let it be tonight, for they are so oppressed with travail that they cannot nor will not use such vigilance as when they are fresh.
I say tonight, no more.
Hark! Holy, this music! Good friends, hark!
Marvelous, sweet music.
Give us kind keepers, heavens! What were these?
A living drollery. Now I'll believe that there are unicorns.
Oh, if in Naples I should report this now, would they believe me?
They vanished strangely.
No matter, for they've left their beans behind. Because we have stomachs. Please taste you what is here.
Not I.
Oh, faith, sir, you need not fear.
I will stand to and feed, although my last. No matter, since the best is past. The brother, my lady, the Duchess, stand to and do as we.
You three are filled with sin, and on this island where man doth not inhabit, you amongst men being most unfit to live, I have made you mad. You fools! I and my fellows are ministers of fate. The elements of whom your swords are tempered may as well diminish one dowel that's in my plume. What's that you three from Milan did supplant the good Prospero? The powers delaying, not forgetting, have incensed the seas and shores, yea, all the creatures against your peace.
In the name of something holy, sir, why stand you in this stare?
It was monstrous, how monstrous! The winds did shriek it to me, and the billows did from it. Oh, and that thunder, that deep and dreadful organ pipe, did pronounce the name of Prosper.
Oh.
It did base my trespass. No, therefore in the ooze my son is bedded, and I shall plummet deeper than ever.
No.
But one fiend at a time, and I shall fight the legions o'er.
No, I'll be thy second.
All three of them are desperate. Their great guilt now gins to bite the spirits. Follow them swiftly, and hinder them from what this ecstasy may now prevent to rope them to.
Follow, I pray thee.
If I have too austerely punished you, your compensation makes amends, for I have given you here a third of mine own life, or that for which I live. For once again I tender to thy hand. All thy vexations were but my trials of thy love, and thou hast strangely stood the test. Here afore heaven I ratify this my rich gift. Oh, Ferdinand, do not smile at me that I boast her off, for thou shalt find she will outstrip all praise and make it hot behind her.
I do believe it against an oracle.
Then, as my gift and thine own acquisition worthily purchased, take my daughter. Sit then and talk with her, for she is thine own. What, Ariel? My industrious servant, Ariel?
What would my potent master? Here I am.
Thou and thy meaner fellows your last service did worthily perform, and I must use you in such another trick. Go, bring the rabble, o'er whom I give thee power, here to this place. Incite them to quick motion, for I must bestow upon this young couple some vanity of mine art. It is my promise, and they expect it from me.
Presently.
Aye, with a twink, and bring a corollary, rather than want a spirit. Appear, and pertly No tongue, all eyes. Be silent.
Of wheat, rye, barley, fetches, oats, and beans, thy banks with pied and twilled brims, which spongy April at thy hest betrims, where thou thyself dost dare, the queen of the sky, whose watery art and messenger am I, bids thee leave these, and come and sport, her peacocks fly amain. Approach, rich Ceres, her to entertain.
Why hast thou, queen, summoned me hither to this short rest?
A contract of true love to celebrate, and some donation freely to estate on the blessed lovers.
The great Juno comes. I know about
thee. Honor, riches, marriage blessing, long continuance and increasing, hourly joys be still upon you. Barns and garners never empty, scarcity and want will shun you.
Juno sings her blessings on you. Come, temper it in, and help to celebrate a contract of true love. Be not too late.
And to you, sunburned laborers of August weary, come hither from the furrow and be merry. Make holiday your rye straw hats put on, and encounter every one in this country footing.
I had forgot that foul plot of the beast Caliban and his confederates against my life. The time of their plot is almost come. Well done! Avoid! No more!
This is strange. Your father's in some passion that drives him strongly.
Never till this day saw I him touched with anger so distempered.
You do look, my son, in a moved sort, as if you were dismayed. Be cheerful, sir. Our revels now are ended, and these are actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits and have melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, yea, all which it inherit shall dissolve. And like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with the sleep. Sir, I am vexed. Bear with my weakness, my old brain is troubled. Be not disposed by my weakness, but if you be pleased, retire into my cell and there repose. Turn or two I'll walk to still my beating mind.
We wish your peace.
Ariel, come.
Thy thoughts I cleave to. What's thy pleasure?
Spirit, We must prepare to meet with Caliban. Say again, where didst thou leave these varlets?
I told you, sir. They were red hot with drinking. So full of valor that they smoked the air for breathing in their faces, beat the ground for kissing of their feet, yet always bending toward their project. So I charmed their ears that calf-like they my lowing followed, through to the briars, sharp furzes, pricking gauze and thorns, which entered their frail shins. At last I left them in the filthy mantled pool, there dancing up to the chins that the foul lake o'erstunk their feet.
This was well done, my bird. The trumpery in my house, go bring it hither. For stale to catch these thieves. Yeah, I will plague them all, even to roaring. Come. Put them on this line.
Pray you, tread softly, that the blind mole may not hear a footfall. Ooh, we are now near his cell.
Monster, your fairy, which you say is an innocent fairy, has done little better than play the jack with us.
Monster, I do smell all horse piss, in which my nose is in great indignation.
So is mine. Do you hear, monster? If I should take a displeasure against you, look you.
Thou wert but a lost monster.
Oh, good my lord, give me thy favor still. Be patient, for the prize I'll bring thee to shall hoodwink this mischance. Therefore speak softly. All is hush as midnight yet.
Aye, but to lose our bottles in the pool.
There is not only disgrace and dishonor in that monster, but an infinite loss.
That's worse to me than my wetting. Yet this is your harmless fairy, monster.
I will fetch off my bottle, though I be over ears for my labor.
Pray thee, my king, be quiet. Seest thou here? This is the mouth of the cell. No noise, and enter. Do that good mischief, which shall make this island thine own forever, and I, thy Caliban, for I, thy foot licker.
Give me thy hand. I do begin to have bloody thoughts.
O King Stefano, O peer, O worthy Stefano, look what a wardrobe is here for thee.
Let it alone, thou fool! It is but trash!
Oh, monster, we know what belongs to a frippery.
O King Stefano.
Put off that gown, Tryon. By this hand, I will have that gown.
My grace shall have it. The dropsy drowned this fool. What do you mean to dote thus upon such luggage? Let it alone, and do the murder first. Oh, if he awake, from toe to crown, he'll fill our skins with pinches, make us strange stuff.
Be you quiet, monster.
Monster, put some lime upon your fingers and away with the rest.
I will have none on it. We shall lose our time, and all be turned to barnacles, or to apes with foreheads villainous low.
Monster, lay to your finger. Help to bear this to where my hogs have of wine is, or I'll turn you out of my kingdom. Go to. Carry this.
And this.
And this.
Hey, mountain, hey! Hey, fury, hey, thunder! Let them be hunted soundly. At this hour lies at my mercy all mine enemies. Shortly shall all my labors end, and thou shalt have the air of freedom. For now does my project gather to a head. My charms crack not, my spirits obey, and time goes upright with his carriage. How's the day?
On the 6th hour, at which time, my lord, you said our work should cease.
I did say so. When first I raised the Tempest, say, Spirit, how fares the king and his followers?
Confined together in the same fashion as you gave in charge. Just as you left them. All prisoners, sir, in the lime grove which weather bends yourself. They cannot budge till your release. The king, his brother, and your sister abide all three distracted, and the remainder mourning over them, brimful of sorrow and dismay. But chiefly her, sir, for you charmed the good old lady Gonzala. Her tears run down her cheeks, like winter's drops from eaves of reeds. Your charm so strongly works them that if you now beheld them, their affections would become tender.
Dost thou think so, spirit?
Mine would, sir, were I human.
And mine shall, though with their high wrongs I am struck to the quick, yet with my nobler reason against my fury do I take part. The rarer action is in virtue than in vengeance. They being penitent, the sole drift of my purpose doth extend not a frown further. Go release them, Ariel. My charms I'll break, their senses I'll restore, and they shall be themselves.
I'll fetch them, sir.
Ye elves of hills, brooks standing, lakes and groves, you gimme puppets, and you whose pastime is to make midnight mushrooms, by whose aid, weak masters though ye be, I have bedimmed the noontide sun, called forth the mutinous winds, and twixt the green sea and the azured vault, said roaring war. But now, this rough magic I here abjure, and when I have required some heavenly music, which even now I do to work my ends upon their senses that this airy charm is for, I'll break my staff, bury it certain fathoms in the earth, and deeper than did ever plummet sound, I'll drown my book. Salome, and the best comforter to an unsettled fancy, cure thy brains, now useless, boiled within thy skull. There stand, for you are spell-stopped. Holy Gonzala, honorable lady, my true preserver, and a loyal friend to him thou followest, I will pay thy graces home, both in word and deed. Most cruelly didst thou, Alonso, use me and my daughter. Thy brother was a furtherer in the act. Thou art pinched for it now, Sebastian. Flesh and blood. You, sister mine, that expelled remorse in nature, that entertained ambition, who with Sebastian here would have killed your king. I do forgive thee, unnatural though thou art. Not one of them that yet looks on me or would know me. Ariel, fetch me the royal mantle from my cell. I will discase me and myself present as I was sometimes Milan. Quickly, spirit, thou shalt ere long be free. Why, that's my dainty Ariel. I shall miss thee, but thou shalt have freedom. So. to the kingship, invisible as thou art. There shalt thou find the mariners asleep under the hatches. The master and the boatswain, being awakened, enforce them to this place. And presently, I prithee,
I drink the air before me and return or ere your pulse twice beat. All torment, trouble, wonder, and amazement inhabit here. Some heavenly power guide us from this fearful country.
behold, our king, the wronged Duke of Milan, Prospero. And to thee and thy company I bid a hearty welcome.
If thou beest he, some figment of the island sent to abuse me, as of late I have been, I not know. Thy pulse beats as of flesh and blood. And since I saw thee, the affliction of my mind amends, for which I fear madness held me. This grave, this be it all, a most strange story. Thy dukedom, I resign, and do entreat thee pardon me my wrongs. But how should Prospero be living and be here?
First, noble friend, let me embrace thine age, whose honor cannot be measured or confined.
But if this be or be not, I'll not swear.
You do yet taste some subtleties of the isle that will not let you believe things certain. Welcome, my friends all. But you, my brace of lords, were I so minded, I here could pluck his highness's frown upon you and justify you traitors. At this time I will tell no tales.
The devil speaks in
No. You most wicked lady, whom to call sister would even infect my mouth. I did here forgive thy wrongs, all of them, and require my dukedom of thee, which perforce I know thou must restore.
Thou beest Prospero, give us particulars of thy preservation. How thou hast met us here, who 3 hours hence were racked upon this shore, where I lost my dear son Ferdinand.
I am woe for it, sir.
Irreparable the loss.
For the like loss I rest myself content.
You the like loss?
Sir, I have lost my daughter.
Daughter? Oh heavens! That they were both in Naples, the king and queen there, that they were... I wish myself were mudded in that oozy bed where my son lies. When did you lose your daughter?
In this last tempest, but pray you, look in. My dukedom, since you have given me again, I will requite you with as good a thing.
If this prove a visit of the isle, one dear son shall I twice lose.
A most high miracle.
Though the seas threaten, they are merciful. I have cursed him without cause.
All the glad tidings of a father encompass thee about. Arise and say hello, King Pierre.
Wonder! How many goodly people are there here? How beauteous mankind is! Oh, bring me word that has such people on it!
'Tis new to thee.
Who's this maid without you were a play? I mean, well, this acquaintance cannot be but 3 hours. Is this the goddess that has severed us and brought us thus together?
Sir, she is mortal, but by mortal providence she is mine. Bear daughter to this famous Duke of Milan and makes him father to me.
I am hers, but how oddly will it sound that I must ask my son for forgiveness?
So, there, stop. Let us not burden our remembrances with a heaviness that's gone.
I have inly wept or should have spoke ere this. Look down, you gods, and on this couple drop a blessed crown. For it was you who talked forth our way which brought us hither.
I say amen, Gonzalo. Bravely, young lovers, give me your hands. may grief and sorrow still encompass his heart that doth not wish you joy.
Be it so, amen. Look, sir, look here on board of us. Oh, I prophesied if there were a gallows on land, this fellow could not drown. What is the news?
The best news is that we have safely found our king and company. The next, our ship, which but 3 glass since we gave out split, is tight and yar, and bravely rigged as when we first put out to sea.
Oh, my tricksy spirit.
These events go from strange to stranger. Say how thou came hence.
If I did think, sir, I were well awake, I'd strive to tell you. We were dead of sleep, and how we know not, all clapped under hatches. We were awaked, straight away at liberty, and were brought moping hither.
Well done.
Bravely, my diligence, thou shalt be free.
This is as strange a maze as ever men trod. And then there's this business that nature is more than conduct of. Some oracle must rectify our knowledge.
Sir, my liege, do not infest your mind with beating on the strangeness of this business. At pick leisure, which shall be shortly, single I'll resolve you these happened accidents. Till when, be cheerful and think of each thing well. Come hither, spirit. Set Caliban and his companions free. Untie the spell. How fares my gracious sir? There are yet missing of your company a few odd lads that you remember not.
All the rest, and let no man take care for himself, for all is but fortune. Coraggio, bully monster, coraggio.
If these be true spies which I wear in my head, here's a goodly sight. Oh, Setibos, these be brave spirits indeed. Oh, how fine my master is. I'm afraid he will chastise me.
What things these are, Lady Antonia? Will money buy them?
Oh, very like. One is but a plain fish and no doubt marketable. Oh!
These 3 have robbed me. And this demi-devil, for he's a bastard one, had plotted with them to take my life. These 2 fellows you must know and own. This thing of darkness, I acknowledge mine.
I shall be pinched to death.
Is this not my drunken butler, Stefano?
He's drunk now? Or had he wine?
And Trinculo is reeling right. Say how thou camest in this pickle.
I've been in such a pickle since I last saw you that I fear me will never out of my bones.
Why, how now, Stefano?
Don't touch not me. I am not Stefano, but a cramp.
This is as strange a thing as ever I've set eyes on.
He is as disproportionate in his manners as in his shape. Go, Sirrah, to my cell. Take your companions with you as you look to have my pardon. Trim it handsomely.
Aye, that I will. And I'll be wise hereafter and seek for grace. Oh, what a thrice double ass was I to take this drunkard for a god and worship this dull fool.
Go to, away.
The store luggage where you wrapped it.
Our store?
Sir, I invite you and your train to my poor cell, where you shall take your rest for this one night. And so then in the morn I'll bring you to your ship, and so to Naples, where I have hope to see the nuptial of these our dear beloved solemnized. And thence retire me to my Milan, where every third thought shall be my grave.
I long to hear the story of your life, which much takes to the ears, strangely.
I'll develop all and promise you calm seas, auspicious sails, and wind so auspicious that shall catch your royal fleet far off. My Ariel chick, that is thy charge. And then to the elements be free, and fare thou well. Pray you, draw near. Now, all my charms are all o'erthrown, and what strength I have's mine own, which is most faint. Let me not, since I have my dukedom got and pardoned the deceiver, dwell in this bare island by your spell. But release me from my bands with the help of your good hands. Gentle breath of yours my sails must fill, or else my project fails. As you from crimes would pardon me, let your indulgence set me free.